Hey, what's up, universe? It is 2:56 p.m. on Sunday, July 9th, 2023. So this will just be pretty raw and vulnerable. It'll be a little bit of a wandering video in a way. I keep seeing 777 or 77. I was doing work on got these audio journals. I've got transcriptions from these Instagram videos. And there's a lot of articles on Medium about how to create, your own AI chatbot, or to ask, your own documents locally, like questions. And, I've explored a number of these different articles, and one thing or another, like, this is actually a more arduous task than one may think. The state of development of these tools is completely in flux, and so you have to use specific versions of specific dependencies. And this is all nerd talk right here. This very much reminds me of Linux back when I first started using it in 1997. There weren't distributions then, like Ubuntu didn't exist, Red Hat didn't exist in 1997. These types of distributions took care of eventually what was known as dependency hell, which means that you would download a package or a program, and that program required other programs, but it required specific versions for it to work. So you had to go hunt those down and get those compiled, and then those had their own dependencies, and it was this recursive pain in the ass. And that's the state of AI right now with these tools. And so all that to say, as I was going through and I'm working through one of these articles just a little bit ago, and I'm monitoring my system resources. What do I see? 777, and it's a number that isn't static. It was the amount of RAM that I had available at the time, and so when I looked at the screen, it was 777, and then it changed to like 741 or whatever, but regardless, I saw the number. So I just mentioned that because that's just part of what I've been working on, and I'm not getting it to work, which is in its own way frustrating. It just plays into like nothing seems to be going, I can't catch a break in a way. And I know it feels like a pity party when I talk like this, and so I don't even necessarily like to share this kind of shit. Another thing with that, though, is like I just made my oldest son pizza, right? The box says bake in the oven at a certain temperature for a certain amount of time. Okay, I can follow directions. Set the oven to a certain temperature. I bake the pizza at the least amount of time, and this is what I did yesterday for my youngest son, and that pizza turned out fine. The pizza from my oldest son, charred cheese on top. He said it was okay, but nonetheless, it still looked like shit, and of course, like, that frustrated me. I cried over that, because I'm like, are you fucking serious? I can't even bake a pizza? I can't even bake a pizza. I can't even bake a fucking pizza, man. And I'm not gonna lie, dude. The song "Black" "Fell on Black Days" by Soundgarden. Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. I went to bed last night crying, and I'm not gonna name which. How do I want to put this? I'm just gonna get a little dark in a way. Suicide, man. Like the line from the song, how would I know that this is to be my fate, or something like that. And it's like, I've been watching the show Lost for like the second or third time, and it just makes me wonder, like, it just, the whole thing with free agency, free will, fate, this kind of a thing. Are some people meant to commit suicide? And you go, and I've searched up like a lot of beliefs around this, and all of them will say that like suicide is one of the bigger, if not the biggest, kind of, how do I want to say, it's spiritually detrimental, I guess, is the way I would want to phrase it. That if one were to choose that, then it's like a setback, you know what I mean? And yet I have to wonder, I'm like, how do we know? How do we know if that wasn't the way that it was supposed to be, right? How do we know? I've just been so frustrated, you know, and suicide's been part of my life for a long time. Like one of my best friends, that's basically how we came to know each other, is, you know, his father chose that, you know, and had his father not chosen that, I would have never met this guy, because they relocated, they moved to right across the street from me when I was 4. You know, one of my ex-wives has experience with this, with one of their parents. And I remember asking my mom about suicide when I was younger. Now I've got things with my own self, and, you know, my son. How do I know? And, you know, just to talk about that so vulnerably, just to be like, yeah, it's been on my mind. It's been on my mind, the way things have been. I'd be lying if I said otherwise. You know what I mean? And there's always, you know, there's the fear of like what people would do if they knew that, right? You know, to talk about things like this so candidly. Like, you know, and then, you know, I had a friend who was a psychiatric nurse, and we spoke about this too. She's had her own things with it. And so we talked about, this was not quite a year ago, you know, as one is evaluating, as a professional, I should say, evaluating somebody's risk, you know, they look for certain signs and everything like that. So speaking about it is one thing. Obviously, like, planning and prepping is a whole nother thing. And I'll just admit, I haven't done any of that, okay? I'm not there. I just am going through some serious fucking questions, and I'm like, because of the way things feel. And I'm always reminded when I get into this topic from a line from the show Revolution, you know, where it's like, I won't necessarily do it justice, but there's a scene where somebody wants to kill somebody so bad that they're willing to take themselves down with them, you know, but it doesn't work out. And so the person that was going to be killed is like, you know, they've said that those who kill themselves and make it, you know, they're glad that it didn't happen, you know, because really it's a permanent choice for a temporary situation. Like I said, I'm not doing the line justice, but it was basically to punctuate that those who survive their attempts are glad. And so he just kind of extrapolates that those who succeed must have probably thought the same thing. And, you know, and it's not like I don't have things to live for, you know. I am definitely experiencing some things that I wish would just fucking end, for sure. I just wish they'd fucking end. But of course, the rub of that too is that I know that it's all my own choices. It's all of it is my own creation. And then not only is it my own creation, it's the fucking meaning I've given it too. It's like that fucking pizza though, man, because like I feel like I'm following the directions that I've been given. And everywhere I turn right now recently, I have nothing but burned fucking pizza. Like there's just nothing that seems to be right, you know? And so it looks like right now, things look fucking like shit. They look like shit and they feel like shit. And I'm having a very difficult time shifting that perspective in a way. And I just want it to stop. I just want it to fucking stop. And so I had a conversation with a guy today I'm very grateful for, a friend of mine over in the UK, and it's like I could choose to, I don't know, like even then I was just going to say I could choose to do other forms of employment, but even the Zendesk opportunities have been closed off, right? Have been redirected in other ways. Because what I was going to say is, like, I could choose to, work a job that is not fulfilling just so I can make ends meet. But that's the thing I rally against as well, is that I don't believe any of us should have to, like, I don't know, I guess I'm just dissatisfied with life in general and how we have set things up in our current systems, and I just believe that our species deserves better. Honestly, this isn't about me. This is about all of us. This is about the structure of things. This is about how things are done and ran and the way that we believe they should be. I don't know. I've been homeless. I've been penniless. I know what it's like to, humans are the only species on the planet that charge each other to live here, The whole idea of money is pretty fucked up to me. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, It just seems really like the best control system ever for what, Out of every other animal species on the planet, we're the most fucked up, it seems, Like, we're the ones that devise these schemes that we think, like, it's imbalanced. It doesn't seem to be in harmony with anything. It's very discordant, and I don't understand. And I don't know if I've been tired of it for a super long time, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is inside of me right now that just is done. I'm just done. I'm just fucking done. Because it's pretty fucked up, like, being where I was financially. Like, I understand Bitcoin better a little bit now, as far as, like, banking the unbanked, which is a huge section of the world population. Not having access to financial services the way that we have it set up really closes off an amazing amount of opportunities. Like, I was unemployed for a while, and then I went to go work at Caribou Coffee as a barista, so I was making like $150 to maybe $200 per paycheck, which was every 2 weeks, right? That was enough to, like, feed me, and just barely anything else. Yet I didn't have like before then, I didn't have a bank account, right? So, like, just cash. I couldn't rent a car. I couldn't get a hotel room. I couldn't, like, traveling was, like, almost non-existent, you know what I mean? In certain ways. Obviously, a lot of things that I took for granted, that I had access to before, when I had a bank account, when I was plugged into the financial system, when I had a credit card, it's fucked up to, like, learn that these luxuries come at a very high price in a way, and I don't know. None of this makes sense to me. The world doesn't make sense to me. My own direction right now makes no fucking sense to me. Nothing makes any fucking sense. Nothing makes any sense, dude. So, this, there's a lot of, there's been some dark ass times during my journeys. I call these things ordeals for a fucking reason. Like, for a reason. And in a way, I enjoy ordeals because there is a certain level of death. There's a death of my old way of being. There's a death of my old beliefs. There's a death of my old way of doing things. And there's a transformation, a powerful transformation process. And it's always been for my better good. Just going through it, it's been some fucking hell. And it's been really dark sometimes. And it has absolutely made me question myself. It's made me question my sanity. It's made me question my direction. The thing last night that I sat with, and I told my friend in the UK this, I was like, I've gotten to the point where I really do believe, like, I just know that we live in a participatory universe. That's something that, like, that's never left me. That's never left me. So last night I'm sitting there alone and I'm talking to my angels and my watchers, my guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, the universe. I'm like, look, I know that there's things out there outside of me that I can't see, that are participating. And I just don't know what the fuck is going on. Just having zero idea for so long. Like, I'm human, and my human brain is like even though I've trained it a certain way, I'm now, like I said before in my previous video, at my wit's end. Like, none of this, it's very hard for me at this point right now to, I still know that there's stuff going on out here. There's, as far as, like, things that I can't see. I haven't been praying very much, honestly, over the last 2 or 3 days, even though, like, I'm not questioning my belief in these things that I can't see. I'm just feeling disenfranchised and disconnected because I feel like I'm following those directions on the pizza box and just burning everything. I'm like, well, like, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. So having that dichotomy between, like, feeling and knowing that there's something out there and feeling guided and directed, yet looking around at the outcomes from my current direction and guidance, I'm like, I'm fucking torching everything, and I don't understand what the fuck good that is doing, This doesn't seem like a controlled burn to me, you know what I mean? This doesn't seem like something that's gonna, like, I don't know, I'm having a difficult time connecting with the fruition, like the fruits of this labor, because I'm not seeing them. And in a way, this is like, how people, how like the symbology of, the symbolism of bamboo, right? Here in a little while, after a long time, it'll just shoot up. Don't worry about it. Like, yeah. It's like what my friend and I were talking in the UK. It's kind of like, yeah, but I feel like I don't got a lot of time. I have like $50 and a shitload of bills, and time is kind of the essence. And I don't know what's up, universe. Like, what do I do? What happens after this? Like, what's the outcome? What's the purpose? What's the point? And just to plug in and drone out, if you've ever seen the video of Do the Evolution by Pearl Jam, yeah, I don't feel like that. At that point, I feel dead already, just doing something like droning and just being plugged into a job just to earn an income for what? It seems rather meaningless and lifeless and soulless. And then again, this plays into another scene from Mr. Robot, where you've got Leon and Elliot, and they're in the cafeteria. I believe it's season 2, episode 9, although don't hold me to that. I'm not entirely sure. But Leon asks Elliot, "Do you dream, Elliot?" And it's a fucking powerful scene. It's beautiful. Yeah, I mean, all of these things. And sometimes I feel like, man, is my dream, like, is that all it is? Is it, I don't know, man, I'm telling you, I don't get it. It's 15:15, 3:15. I don't know. Anyway, I just, yeah, I'd be lying if I didn't tell you that some of this is dark as hell. Anyway. That's pretty much what I got. That's pretty much what I got. So, yeah. I don't want nobody worry about anything, you know what I mean? Because, the people that talk about it, it seems, are the people that aren't necessarily as serious about it. The ones that are serious about it don't let anybody know. You know what I mean? As far as suicide goes. So I'm talking about it. I'm letting all you know. So don't worry about it. This is the real Zach Olinger. And if you want to know what the fuck is really real for me, that this process, what I've just talked about for the last, who knows how long, 12 or 14 minutes, that's what's real. That's what's going on inside my head. There's a bird up there making a nest. She's been hanging out on that egg, bringing in new life. Hopefully that snake doesn't come back, you know what I mean? It's been a minute since I've seen him. Yeah, we'll see. All right. I love you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for journeying with me. I'll talk to you later. Bye.